Now, according to the Irish Cancer Society, approximately 250 women are diagnosed with cervical cancer in Ireland each year.
The leading cause of cervical cancer is HPV. So, to mark HPV Awareness Day, we're joined now by patient advocate with the 221 Plus group, Lynn Fenton, and Bernie Carter, Assistant Director of Nursing at the Marie Keating Foundation. Thank you both so much for being here. It's lovely to see. Bernie, of course, we know the 221 group, the 221 Plus group. Unfortunately, you have had cervical cancer 2015, was it?
Yes, yeah, in 2015.
And what happened when you were diagnosed?
I was diagnosed in 2015 and I had a hysterectomy as a result of that. And then in 2019, I discovered that I was part of the cervical check failures, in that my cancer could have been prevented. And there wasn't just one opportunity to prevent it, there was 4 opportunities. So there was 4 misread smears. And it was a system that was not fit for purpose. And but since then they have improved it, and there is better governance now, and they have also changed the way that they're testing cervical smear slides, in that they would first of all do a HPV test to see if you're HPV positive, because HPV causes the majority of cervical cancers.
4 misread smear tests.
4 misread smears, yeah.
Take us back to that. How did you feel, frustration-wise?
It was a very surreal kind of a thing to understand, and it was very difficult to get my head around it. I absolutely did not understand at the time how I was involved in it, because my cancer was caught early. I was very grateful that my cancer was caught early. But I suppose what differentiates me from maybe those other ladies that have unfortunately passed is that I didn't have a reoccurrence of cancer. And that's like rolling a dice, really, to be fair, you know. I was very, very angry, and that my family had been put through, and myself, unnecessarily, the journey that we were on. And it was, I suppose, it set a fire inside me to instead of just getting angry at myself or angry at those around me, it set a fire inside me, okay, to change, to do something to change. How can I help? How can I change this? What can I do? What can I do to make sure that it doesn't happen to any other woman, and to raise awareness for how to do things better?
It has been incredible. Unfortunately, we know the names of too many people.
Yes.
From the cervical smear scandal.
Yeah.
And who have gone. You're still with us, and you're still talking about it, which is incredible, because you want to raise awareness. And Bernie, that's it, the human papillomavirus, HPV. Can you talk to us a little bit about this? Because it is incredibly common in both men and women.
Yep. Today is HPV Awareness Day, and HPV stands for human papillomavirus. It is, like you say, Marin, a very common virus. There is at least 200 of these viruses, and about 13 of them can cause cancer. It's a highly contagious, very common virus. At least 4 out of 5 of us, or 80% of us, will get a HPV virus at some stage in our lifetime. Now, most of us will clear the virus from our bodies, but in some cases, the virus can linger and can increase our risk of cancer. So again, roughly about 12 of these HPV viruses. A misconception is a lot of people think it's a virus that causes primarily just cervical cancer, and not just, like Lynn here, I have a sister with cervical cancer. We know that about 250 cases of cervical cancer are diagnosed in Ireland every year, but we know more than 99% of cervical cancers are caused by a HPV virus. But HPV also causes cancer in men as well as women. So HPV can cause cancer of the anus or the back passage, cancer of the penis, cancer of the deep throat in men or women, cancer of the cervix, cancer of the vagina, and cancer of the vulva. So very, very common virus, and a virus, as I said again, that we can clear from our body, but it can linger and it can stay in the body, and it can increase the risk of cancer. It can cause changes in the cells in the body and can increase the risk of cancer. So, yeah.
From a men's point of view, because I just learned this morning, that men can get HPV as well. So is there a test for men?
Unfortunately, there's not. I think in some countries they have brought in what we call an anal swab, where they can swab the back passage. So no, as of now, there is no test as such in men. So
in terms of the leading cause of cervical cancer, would it be the leading cause of any other cancers?
Anal cancer. 90% of anal cancers. You know, we know that thankfully cervical cancer is on the decrease because we've got HPV vaccination, we've got HPV cervical screening, we've got better treatment for abnormal pre-cancer cells in the cervix. So yeah, we've got a better way of picking up cervical than we have as in HPV related to other cancers, as in a screening program. No doubt it's on the way, you know, no doubt we will get there. But yeah.
Well, we kind of look at Australia and they're hoping to have a completely and utterly eradicated cervical cancer. So vaccines, an awful lot of us think that, and there was an awful lot about this, you know, even when I was in school, about the HPV vaccine. That's not just for children, that's for men and women.
Yeah,
you can get
for everybody. It was in Ireland. We brought in the national vaccination programme was brought into the schools, or introduced into the schools in 2010. Started off with girls, then in 2019 it was extended to the boys and the girls. The ideal is to get vaccinated before becoming sexually active. So the ideal is, you know, at a younger age, but it's trialled and tested up to the age of 45. It is ideally recommended between 9 to 26, you know. It is free in first years in schools in Ireland, but after that, and I must say as well here, it's free for first years, but it's also free for men who have sex with men up to the age of 45, so they would need to contact their sexual health clinic or their GP, and it's free for men and women with the virus that cause AIDS, HIV, up to the age of 26. I just want to say, as far as cervical cancer, you know, I'm 35 odd years, I hate to say it, age-wise. I'm a long time a cancer nurse. But look, there's so many cancers that we do not know the cause. We have nothing to prevent. And here we have something that can prevent any one person dying from cervical cancer.
Lynn, you're nodding along there. Like this is what it's become kind of a mission for you.
It is, and they often talk about, you know, you'd often hear people saying, "Oh, I'd love a cure for cancer," or "I'd love." This is a cure for cancer. You know, I mean, by getting vaccinated, by getting your HPV vaccine, and by screening, and it's going to eliminate it. Eradication is slightly different. Eradicating it is totally that it's never going to be known again. But Ireland is on track to eliminate cervical cancer by the year 2040. And elimination will be, there will be 4 cases of cervical cancer per 100,000 people. I just wanted to say as well, just that one of the reasons why they vaccinate, or they offer the vaccination so young, is that it's before somebody is sexually active. You can get vaccinated up to any age, but it won't prevent against any HPV that you have already caught or that already may be in your body. So that's why it's even more important to vaccinate our boys and girls when they're young.
There's a lot of vaccine hesitancy, and, you know, we would encourage people, get the facts. Go to where, you know, like the Marie Keating Foundation, you know, the World Health Organization. People get a lot of misinformation, which can really reduce the likelihood that they will go and get vaccinated or get their children vaccinated. And, you know, like Lynn said, as I said again, I have a sister as well who's gone through that journey of cervical cancer. In my lifetime as a cancer nurse and as a family member, I've seen far too many people die from cancer. And it's within our control now, hopefully before even 2040, because the WHO is hoping, like Australia is on track and Sweden to get there, like hopefully by 2030.
But Lynn, you did have to have a hysterectomy. Like, how are you doing? Because you have to, like, you're out there, you're talking about this.
Yeah. That's always a question. It's not that I find it hard to answer, but with any cancer journey, when somebody goes through a cancer journey, I would say I'm at present cancer-free. I do not have any cancer. But to say that somebody is all right, I would never say I'm all right, because you live with the effects of cervical cancer and other cancers for the rest of your life. You may have lymphedema, you may have, I mean, there's lots of things that are debilitating for the rest of your life. So I would only just answer that by saying I am cancer-free at the moment. Because there's a lot of hidden things that people just have to live with for the rest of their lives, you know. But you get on with things, and you have to live. You know, I'm very, very grateful to be alive. You know, but I will keep fighting, and I will keep trying to change things and to educate people. And yeah, that in itself is healing for me.
Absolutely, and doing a fantastic job on it as well. It's so important on the HPV Awareness Day as well. Bernie Carter from the Mary Keating Foundation, thanks so much for coming in and talking to us. And Lynn Fenton, of course, cancer survivor and, of course, massive advocate for the 221+ group.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you so much.